Welcome to the Church of Thomas. Science, Sermon 5/1808. In this sermon I will show you how the Church of Thomas teachings are a direct extension of Thomas's questioning everything. He may not have understood these verses, but by relaying them to us in this far generation, it is a great gift. In the Church of Thomas there is no animosity between science and religion as we practice it. God gave us minds not only to worship but to analyze our world. In the Church of Thomas it is considered a waste of potential to only use one spurning the other. When I first read the Gospel of Thomas, I found many modern ideas referenced in it. The examples are prosthetics and plastic surgery, geology, spaceflight, astronomy, and string theory. Read these abbreviated verses to see what I mean. I feel it is a call to reconcile and balance the needs of both our reasoning ability and our spiritual faith. Prosthetics and plastic surgery. Verse 22. When Jesus saw suckling infants, he said to his students, "These suckling infants are from the One. Being like them is the way to enter heaven. There will come a time when you are able to craft an eye to replace an eye, and a hand to replace a hand, and a foot to replace a foot, and rebuild a likeness in place of a likeness. Then you will enter the kingdom." Geology. Verse 19. Jesus said, "If you listen to my words and become my students, even these stones will teach you about the earth." Verse 77. Jesus said, "I who am the light that is above all the earth and all the angels who guard her. I am the one who oversaw the beginning, and I am in everything. The one sent the earth for me, and for it to be mine. Saw a log in pieces, and I am there. Cleave a stone, and you will find me there." Spaceflight. Verse 42. Jesus said, "Stand outside the world to see the whole." Astronomy. Verse 18. Jesus' student asked, "How will the universe end?" Jesus said, "Why do you seek to know the end when you do not know how everything began? The beginning is where you will discover the end. Someday a person will discover how everything began, and with that knowledge they will know the end as well. Knowing the beginning and the end will forever unite them with the One. This knowing will not come from mind alone, but in the unity of mind and spirit." Verse 1:11. Jesus said, "Someday both the solar system and the earth will pass away, but living in the One, they will live on in the One." Verse 11. Jesus said, "The earth and the solar system will cease to exist. Those who walking in the dark are not alive, though they walk around. Those who walk in the light and are aware are not dead and will not die." String theory. Verse 18. Jesus' students asked, "How will the universe end?" And then it goes on to say, Jesus said, "Why do you seek to know the end when you do not know how everything began? The beginning is where you will discover the end." Verse 113. Jesus' students asked, "When will heaven come?" Jesus said, "It will not come by waiting for it. It is not a matter of saying it is here or it is there. Heaven and the One are already spread upon the earth, and people do not see it. They fill the same spaces." Verse 3. Jesus said, "If your leaders say the kingdom is in the sky, then the birds of the air will get to heaven before you. And if the leaders say heaven is in the sea, the fish will get to heaven before you. Instead, know that heaven is inside of you and heaven is outside of you. If you learn who you truly are, you will step into the presence of the One, and you will know that you are the children of the One. If you do not seek to find your true self, you live in the dark, you are part of the dark, and you aid the darkness of the world." Science and religion in balance. Verse 5. Jesus said, "Become aware of your world, and what is hidden will be obvious to you. There is nothing that was hidden that will not be made obvious. verse 17. Jesus said, I will show you what no eye has seen. I will tell you what no ear has heard. I will let you feel what no hand has felt. I will inspire you with things that have never been thought in a human mind. Always seek to know more, and it will be given. Verse 47. Jesus said, it is impossible for a person to mount 2 steeds or stretch 2 bows at the same time. It is impossible to serve 2 bosses. A person would respect one and treat the other with contempt. This does not mean that reason and spirits are 2 masters. These should work as a team to reach the one. No one who has a taste for old wine reaches for an unaged new wine. New wine is not put into old wineskins because it will burst, because it holds new life. Aged wine does not hold life. Its sugar is expended and would spoil in a new wineskin because the skin is not cured by fermentation. An old patch is not sewn safely onto a new garment because it will be ripped and because the clothes shrink at a different rate. Verse 92. Jesus said, seek and you will find. You asked me questions before, but I did not tell you because it was not time. Now it is time. I want to tell you, but you have stopped asking. Do not give up looking. Ask until you get your answers, as a 3-year-old will persist until they were fully satisfied. Verse 110. Jesus said, a person who discovers and becomes rich in the knowledge of the nature of the world should then seek self-knowledge as well. I have seen the struggle of spiritual people forced to deny that side of themselves because they were scientists. I have seen thinking people who fought the bonds of literal interpretation of the Bible as fact. Jesus wanted us to use all of our God-given gifts together in harmony. In these verses, I find God's hope that science and religion will start working together instead of castigating each other. The rules of science need to stick with their own rules, as religion must stick to its rules. The lack of moral guidance from religion must be re-added to the practice of science and the repercussions that it has. Conversely, religion is based on faith, the unseen and the untestable. However, refusing to understand the natural world around us impoverishes our worship of God. Science can be treated only by those who are thoroughly imbued with the aspiration toward truth and understanding. The situation may be expressed by an image. Science without religion is lame. Religion without science is blind. The quote comes from Albert Einstein. God bless the whole world, no exceptions. Angel Eliza.